If you stop working today, does your income stop too? Not next month. Not next year. Today. If you don't show up tomorrow morning, does the money still come in? Or does everything pause the moment you do? Think about that honestly. Because most people never do. They just keep moving. Keep working. Keep hoping. Wake up. Rush out. Trade hours. Come home tired. Sleep. Repeat. Day after day. Year after year. And somewhere deep down, there's this quiet fear they don't talk about. The fear that says, if I stop, everything falls apart. That's not freedom. That's dependence. And no one calls it that. They call it a stable job. They call it being responsible. They call it how life works. But let's be honest. If your income disappears when you rest, you don't own your money. Your money owns you. Because you can't pause. You can't breathe. You can't choose. You can only continue. And that kind of life is exhausting. Even if you're doing okay. Even if you're surviving. Because surviving isn't living. It's just maintaining. Maintaining bills. Maintaining stress. Maintaining routines. Maintaining a life you're too tired to question. Maybe you've felt it before. Late at night. When everything is quiet. And you finally stop distracting yourself. That small thought shows up. Soft. But heavy. Is this really it? Am I going to work like this forever? And then morning comes. And you push the thought away. Because there's no time to think. Only time to work. Listen. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not lazy. You're not behind. You're not bad with money. You were just never taught a different system. That's all. Because there are two ways to earn money. Two completely different games. The first game is the one most people play. Work today. Get paid today. Stop working. Money stops too. It feels normal. Because everyone does it. But it's fragile. One sickness. One layoff. One bad month. And everything shakes. Then there's the second game. Quieter. Smarter. Calmer. You build something once. And it keeps paying you. Not because you showed up. But because the system keeps running. While you sleep. While you travel. While you rest. While you simply live. No rushing. No begging time for permission. No fear of stopping. That's real income. Income that doesn't depend on your presence. Not magic. Not luck. Not some get-rich-quick fantasy. Just assets. Systems. Leverage. Things that continue working. Long after you stop pushing. And once you understand this, everything changes. Because the goal isn't work harder. It becomes build smarter. This audiobook isn't here to hype you. It isn't here to sell dreams. It's here to show you something quieter. Something more realistic. Something more permanent. How to create income once. And get paid forever. Not so you can buy more things. But so you can finally breathe. So you can rest without guilt. So you can wake up without panic. Because real wealth isn't money. It's time. time you actually own. And if you're still listening right now, something in you already wants that life. So stay with me. Slow down. Let's rebuild the way you think about income. Step by step. Calmly. Clearly. Because from today, we stop chasing money and start building systems that chase us. Let's begin with the trap almost everyone falls into. The one that looks safe, but quietly steals your freedom. Chapter 1: The Paycheck Trap. Most people don't notice the trap because it doesn't look like one. There are no bars, no chains, no locked doors. It doesn't look dangerous. It looks normal, respectable, responsible. It looks like a job, a salary, a routine. It looks like everyone else's life, which is exactly why nobody questions it. You wake up. The alarm rings. Not because you're excited, because you have to. Your eyes open slowly, and before your feet even touch the floor, your mind is already calculating. Time, traffic, tasks, deadlines. You haven't even stood up yet, and you're already behind. You reach for your phone. Notifications, messages, reminders. Life waiting for you, demanding you. There's no quiet moment, no slow breath, just movement. Rush. Prepare to go. Prepare to perform. Prepare to trade another day. And you don't even call it trading. You call it going to work. But that's what it is. A trade. Your time. For money. Hours of your life. In exchange for numbers on a screen. 8 hours. Sometimes 10. Sometimes more. Especially when they say, just stay a little longer. A little longer. A little more. A little extra effort. Until you're too tired to even feel yourself. And at the end of the month, money comes in. You feel relief. Not joy. Not freedom. Relief. Like someone just loosened a rope around your chest. Just enough to breathe again. Then it starts over. Immediately. Rent. Food. Transport. Bills. Money goes out faster than it came. And you realize something strange. It's never enough to stop. Enough to survive. Never enough to rest. Enough to keep going. Never enough to be free. That's the trick. That's the design. If they paid you enough to be free, you wouldn't need them anymore. So they pay you just enough to come back tomorrow. Years pass like this. Quietly. No explosion. No big failure. Just slow repetition. Day after day. Morning after morning. Same road. Same chair. Same screen. Same tired version of you. And here's the scary part. Nothing looks wrong. You're not homeless. You're not starving. From the outside, you look fine. Functioning. Responsible. So you tell yourself, this must be life. But late at night, when everything is finally quiet, there's a moment. A very honest moment. You stare at the ceiling, or your phone screen, and a thought shows up. Soft. Heavy. If I stopped working, what would happen? Not forever. Just stopped. For a month. Just to breathe. And the answer comes fast. Too fast. I can't. I can't afford to. Those 4 words say everything. I can't rest. I can't pause. I can't exist without working. I can't stop. Listen carefully. That's not freedom. That's dependence. Because if you don't show up, money doesn't show up. If you stop moving, everything stops. Your life has a meter running. Like a taxi. The moment you stop, the cost catches you. That's not income. That's labor. Income continues. Labor stops when you stop. But nobody explains the difference. So we confuse the two. We call labor income. And wonder why we feel trapped. Here's the truth most people avoid. A paycheck is not freedom. It's permission. Permission to survive another month. Permission to eat. Permission to exist. And survival is not the same thing as living. Freedom means choice. Real choice. The choice to rest. The choice to pause. The choice to say no. Without fear. Most people don't have that. They just have responsibilities. And slowly, without realizing it, you start building your entire life around work. Vacations become requests. Rest becomes guilt. Dreams become later. Everything becomes after. After the next paycheck. After the next month. After things calm down. But things never calm down. They just continue. That's the paycheck trap. Not pain. Not disaster. Just slow dependence. So slow, you don't notice you're stuck. Until one day, something shakes. A layoff. A health issue. A crisis. And suddenly, everything you thought was stable feels fragile. And that's when most people panic. But you don't have to wait for panic. You can wake up now. Right here. Because awareness changes everything. Seeing the trap is the first step out. You don't need to quit tomorrow. You don't need to rebel. You just need to understand something simple. Working isn't the problem. Working as your only option is. Because when work is your only option, it's not a choice anymore. It's a dependency. And dependency is the opposite of freedom. So now that you see it clearly, we need to talk about the next lie. The one that keeps people stuck here forever. The belief that working harder is the answer. Because if hard work alone created freedom, the hardest workers would all be rich. But they're not. So something else must be missing. Let's talk about that. Chapter 2. Why hard work isn't enough. There's something you were told your whole life. Something that sounds so obvious, so responsible, so unquestionable, that you never stopped to test it. You just accepted it. Work hard. That's the key. Work hard and everything will be fine. Work hard and life will reward you. Work hard and you'll succeed. It sounds noble. It sounds honorable. It even sounds safe. Like good advice from people who care about you. So you listened. Of course you did. You studied hard. You showed up early. You stayed late. You said yes when you were tired. You did extra. You tried to be reliable. Because somewhere deep inside, you believed something simple. If I just try harder than everyone else, I'll be okay. But here's the quiet question nobody asks. If hard work alone created freedom, why are the hardest working people still struggling? Look around. Really look. The woman selling food on the street all day, working under the sun. The security guard standing for 12 hours straight, barely sitting. The nurse doing double shifts. The cleaner. The driver. The laborer. These people work harder than most CEOs. Harder than most successful people you see online. So why aren't they rich? Why aren't they free? That question breaks the myth. Quietly. Because it shows you something uncomfortable. Hard work is not the formula. It never was. Hard work can keep you alive, but it doesn't automatically move you forward. And that realization hurts. Because it means something you trusted, something you built your life around, might not be enough. Most people don't notice this early. They notice it later. Much later. Usually when they're tired. Very tired. There's a specific kind of tired. Not sleep tired. Not physical tired. Life tired. The kind where you wake up, and you're already exhausted. Before the day even starts. Before you even leave the bed. Because you know exactly what the day looks like. The same thing as yesterday. And the day before. And the week before that. You're working. But nothing feels like it's changing. You're trying. But you're not moving. It's like running on a treadmill. Sweating. Breathing hard. Moving your legs non-stop. But still, in the same place. That's when the thought creeps in. Soft but sharp. Why am I still stuck? I'm doing everything right. I'm working hard. I'm being responsible. So why does life still feel tight? That's the moment the lie cracks. Just a little. Because effort alone doesn't guarantee progress. Imagine something simple. Two people. Person 1 works 12 hours a day. Gets paid only when they show up. If they miss one day, no money. Person 2 works 12 hours once. Builds something. Creates something. Sets up something. And that thing keeps paying them, even when they're sleeping. Both worked hard. Same effort. Same hours. But completely different outcomes. That's the difference nobody teaches you. It's not about how hard you work. It's about what you're working on. Hard work applied to the wrong system just makes you tired faster. Think about that. Really think. If you dig a hole in the wrong place, digging harder doesn't help. It just makes the hole deeper. Most people aren't lazy. They're exhausted. Exhausted from digging harder. In the wrong place. And the world makes it worse. It praises hustle. It praises burnout. It praises no days off. Like suffering is a badge of honor. Like being tired proves you're worthy. So you feel guilty resting. Guilty slowing down. Guilty wanting something easier. But easier isn't lazy. Sometimes easier is smarter. There's something strange you start noticing as you get older. The people who look calm. The ones not rushing, not stressed, not chasing every hour. They're often the ones doing better. Not because they're lucky. but because their money isn't tied to their body. Their income doesn't depend on how tired they are or how many hours they clock. It depends on systems, assets, leverage, things that keep working even when they're not. And when you first see that, it feels unfair. Why didn't anyone teach me this? Why did nobody explain this earlier? Because most people don't know. They just repeat what they were told. Work hard. Stay safe. Don't question. But safety without growth is just slow stagnation. And stagnation feels heavy, like you're carrying life instead of living it. This chapter isn't saying stop working. It's saying stop believing effort alone is enough. Because if effort was enough, you'd already be free. You've tried hard enough. You've sacrificed enough. You've proven your discipline already. So the problem isn't you. It's the system you're inside. The game you were taught to play. And here's the quiet shift. The moment everything changes. Instead of asking, how can I work harder? You start asking, what can I build once that pays forever? What can I create that doesn't need me every day? What can earn even when I rest? Those questions are different, calmer, smarter, because now you're not chasing money. You're designing it. And design beats effort. Every time. So now you see it. Hard work isn't enough. Not because you're failing, but because you're playing the wrong game. In the next chapter, we're going deeper. Into something most people don't even notice. The hidden belief that keeps you trading time without realizing it. The mindset that quietly locks you in place. Before money ever does. Chapter 3: The Myth of Job Security. Most people don't stay at their job because they love it. They stay because it feels safe. Safe enough. Predictable enough. The salary comes on time. Every month. Same day. Same alert. Same number. And that little notification makes everything feel okay again. Even if you're tired. Even if you're bored. Even if you secretly wish you were doing something else with your life. That payment hits. And you tell yourself, at least it's stable. Stable. That word has comfort in it. It sounds responsible. Mature. Like you're doing life correctly. But here's something nobody says out loud. Stable doesn't always mean secure. Sometimes it just means temporarily working. The story most people live. Imagine this. Nothing dramatic. Just normal life. The kind you see every day. You've been at a job for 5 years. Maybe 8 years. You know everyone's name. You know the system. You know exactly what time lunch is. Exactly when Friday feels lighter. You're comfortable. Experienced. You even feel needed. Your boss says things like, "We can't run this place without you." And you believe it. Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? Then one random Tuesday, you get an email. Quick meeting. 2 p.m. Nothing special. Nothing scary. Just a meeting. You walk in. Smile. Sit down. And suddenly, the room feels different. HR is there. Not just your manager. Papers on the table. And your stomach drops. 10 minutes later, everything changes. Company restructuring. Budget cuts. It's not personal. We appreciate your service. Service. Like you were replaceable labor. Like 5 years was just a shift. And just like that, your stable job disappears. Not gradually. Not politely. Instantly. You walk out holding a small envelope. Same building. Same sky. But your life feels different. Heavier. That's when the truth hits. Hard. You were never secure. You were just employed. The lie we quietly accept. We grew up hearing something. Over and over. Get a stable job. Find something secure. Government job is safe. Big company is safe. But think carefully. Really think. How can something be secure if someone else controls it? Your income depends on their profits, their decisions, their moods, their mistakes, their management. You can work perfectly and still lose everything through no fault of your own. That's not security. That's dependence disguised as safety. The invisible fear. Most people won't admit this, but they feel it. Every time the company has big announcements. Every time rumors spread. Every time someone gets fired. That small fear shows up. Quiet. What if I'm next? And now you're not working from freedom. You're working from fear. You start trying harder. Staying later. Saying yes to everything. Even things you hate. Not because you're ambitious. Because you're scared. Scared to lose the paycheck. Scared to lose the security. But security built on fear isn't security at all. The uncomfortable math. Let's slow this down. No emotion. Just math. One job. One employer. One source of income. That means, if one thing breaks, everything breaks. Imagine a chair with one leg. Would you sit on it? Of course not. It would collapse. Yet most people build their entire life on one financial leg, one paycheck, one dependency, and they call that safe. It's not safe. It's fragile. Why we still stay? So why don't people change? If it's so fragile, why stay? Because comfort is convincing. Comfort whispers. At least you know this. At least it's predictable. Starting something new feels risky. Building assets feels confusing. So we choose familiar stress over unfamiliar freedom. Even if the familiar thing is slowly draining us. A quiet realization. There's a moment that changes everything. Not dramatic. Just quiet clarity. You look at your life and think, if they let me go tomorrow, I have nothing else. No system paying you. No asset working for you. No income outside your body. Just you. And your labor. That's when you realize you don't own your income. You rent it. You rent it from an employer, month by month. And rented income can be taken away anytime, without warning. This chapter isn't here to scare you. It's here to free your thinking. Because once you see this clearly, you stop worshiping job security. You stop calling it safety, and start calling it what it is. A starting point, not a life plan. A tool, not a cage. Jobs aren't evil. They're just limited. They pay you, only while you're present. True security looks different. It looks like income that continues, even when you're not there. Money that doesn't ask permission from your time. Money that doesn't disappear if you rest. That's real stability. Not dependence. Ownership. So tonight, ask yourself something simple. If my job disappeared, what would still pay me? Silence or systems? Because that answer tells you everything about your freedom. Now that you see the truth, that jobs aren't security. There's something even bigger to confront. Something most people never question. The deal itself. Trading time. For money. It sounds normal, but it might be the worst trade you ever agreed to. Chapter 4. Trading time for money is losing. There's a deal most people agreed to, without ever realizing they agreed to it. No contract. No signature. Just habit. Just tradition. It sounds normal, responsible, even mature. So nobody questions it. The deal is simple. You give your time, and someone gives you money. Hour for hour. Day for day. Life for salary. At first glance, it seems fair. You work. You get paid. Effort equals reward. Sounds logical. But slow down. Look closer. Because something about this trade is very expensive. The thing nobody measures. Money is easy to count. You can see it. Touch it. Check your balance anytime. But time. You can't see it leaving. You don't feel it disappearing. It just quietly moves. One morning becomes night. 1 week becomes a month. 1 year becomes 5. Then 10. And suddenly, you're older. Energy is lower. Dreams feel distant. And you don't know where the years went. Because you traded them. One shift at a time. The quiet math. Let's do something uncomfortable. Just simple math. Imagine you work 8 hours a day. 5 days a week. That's 40 hours. Every week. About 160 hours a month. Nearly 2,000 hours a year. Now multiply that by 10 years. 20,000 hours. 20,000 hours. Just to survive. Not to build. Not to own. Not to create freedom. Just to stay afloat. Just to pay bills. That's not earning. That's maintaining. Maintaining a life that resets every month. Like a game you never win. Rent comes back. Bills come back. Expenses come back. So you go back. Back to the office. Back to the shift. Back to the trade. Time. For money. The invisible ceiling. Here's the part nobody explains. Time has a limit. You cannot create more of it. Ever. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. Billionaire or beginner. So if your income depends only on hours, your income has a ceiling. A hard ceiling. No matter how hard-working you are. You can't work 40 hours twice. You can't live 2 days at once. So there's always a cap. A maximum. Which means you can never scale. You just get tired. Not rich. The trap feels productive. And this is the confusing part. You feel busy. You feel responsible. You feel hardworking. But being busy isn't the same as building. You can run all day and still be in the same place. Like a treadmill. Lots of movement. No progress. That's what trading time feels like. Motion without multiplication. A small story. Picture two people. Same age. Same energy. Person A works 10 hours every day. Gets paid daily. If they stop working, money stops instantly. Person B works hard too, but builds something once. Maybe a small product. A course. A digital asset. A system. Something that keeps selling. After building it, it keeps paying. While they sleep. While they travel. While they rest. Both worked. But only one multiplied. One is trapped in effort. The other is supported by systems. Guess who feels lighter after 5 years? Guess who still has time? The emotional cost. Money isn't the only thing you lose in this trade. There's something deeper. Your energy. Your attention. Your creativity. Your curiosity. After working all day, you don't feel like building anything else. You just want to rest. Or scroll. So your dreams stay dreams. Forever postponed. Later. When I have time. But time never comes. Because time is always sold first. The realization. One day it hits you quietly. Not dramatically. You look at your week. And realize. None of it was yours. Monday to Friday, gone. Saturday, recovering. Sunday, preparing again. Where did you live? When did you live? You existed. But you didn't choose. That's when it clicks. Slowly. Trading time for money is the most expensive trade you can make. Because money can return. Time never does. The shift in thinking. This doesn't mean don't work. Work is fine. It means stop selling all your hours. Stop selling your whole life. Work to build something that works without you. Something that doesn't clock out. Something that doesn't get tired. Something that earns, even when you don't. That's when life changes. Not because you hustle more, but because you stop depending only on yourself. You create leverage, systems, assets, things that multiply. So instead of time money, you get effort once, income forever. That's a different game. A calmer game. Right now, most people are selling their days. One by one. Like pieces of their life. But you don't have to sell everything. You can keep some. Keep your time. Keep your energy. Keep your options. And let systems earn for you. Quietly. Because freedom isn't about working less. It's about needing to work less. There's a big difference. A life-changing difference. So if trading time is losing, what's the alternative? If effort alone isn't enough, what actually creates freedom? In the next chapter, we talk about something most people never question. The feeling that you're lazy, when really, you're just stuck in the wrong system. Chapter 5. You're not lazy, you're stuck. There's a word most people use too quickly, too casually. A word that sounds small, but quietly destroys confidence. Lazy. Lazy. Maybe you've said it to yourself before, late at night, alone. Why am I like this? Why can't I just focus? Other people are doing more. Why am I so lazy? It sounds harmless, just a label. But labels shape identity, and identity shapes behavior. If you believe you're lazy, you stop trusting yourself. You stop trying new things. You stop dreaming bigger. Because deep down, you think the problem is you. Your character, your discipline, your willpower. So you blame yourself. Every time. But what if you were never lazy to begin with? What if you're just tired, or trapped, or drained? What if the system you're living in would exhaust anyone? Think about it honestly, without judging yourself. You wake up tired, work all day, come home exhausted. Then you expect yourself to be creative, ambitious, disciplined. That's not laziness. That's depletion. Nobody runs fast with empty lungs. Nobody thinks clearly with zero energy. Yet we expect ourselves to perform miracles while drained. The quiet guilt. There's a specific type of tiredness. Not physical, mental, emotional. The kind where even small tasks feel heavy. Like lifting something invisible. You sit down to start something important. A business idea. A side project. A new skill. And suddenly, you feel resistance. Not fear. Not laziness. Just no energy. Nothing inside you moves. So you scroll instead. Or lie down. And later, guilt arrives. Heavy guilt. I wasted time again. What's wrong with me? Why can't I just do it? Listen carefully. Because this part matters. Lazy people don't feel guilty. They don't care. The fact that you feel bad proves you care deeply. And caring deeply is the opposite of lazy. A normal day, the part nobody counts. Let's slow down and look at your day. Just a normal day. Nothing dramatic. You wake up early. Already tired. Commute. Traffic. Noise. Crowds. Work for 8 hours. Maybe more. Solve problems that aren't yours. Handle stress that isn't yours. Answer demands that aren't yours. Smile when you don't feel like it. Stay polite when you're drained. That's emotional labor. And it's exhausting. Then you come home. Brain fog. Low energy. And you say, I should start my side hustle. I should learn something new. I should be productive. But your body says no. Your mind says no. So you rest. And call yourself lazy. That's unfair. Extremely unfair. You weren't lazy. You already worked all day. You already spent your energy. There's nothing left to give. The lie productivity culture sold you. There's something dangerous we were taught. Something subtle. That if you're not constantly producing, you're failing. If you're not busy, you're behind. If you're resting, you're wasting time. That belief quietly breaks people. Every day. Because humans aren't machines. We can't run endlessly. Yet the system expects machine output. With human energy. That mismatch creates burnout. not laziness. Burnout looks like laziness from the outside, but inside, it feels like drowning slowly. The real problem. Here's the truth most people miss. You're not lazy. You're stuck in survival mode. Survival mode kills creativity, kills ambition, kills focus. Because when your brain is just trying to survive, it can't build anything new. Survival says, just get through today. Freedom says, let's build tomorrow. Most people never reach freedom thinking, because they're too tired, too busy surviving. The emotional shift. Imagine something different. Just imagine. Imagine waking up. Without pressure. Not because you're rich, but because your income doesn't depend only on today's effort. Imagine knowing money still moves even when you rest. Notice what happens to your body just thinking about that. Shoulders relax. Breathing slows. That calm feeling? That's what happens when survival pressure disappears. That's when creativity returns. Motivation returns. Not because you forced it. Because you finally have space. The reframe. So stop calling yourself lazy. Right now. Replace that word with something more honest. Tired. Drained. Stuck. Overworked. But not lazy. Never lazy. Because lazy means you don't care. And you care too much. That's why this bothers you. That's why you're even listening to this. Lazy people don't search for solutions. You did. Maybe nothing is wrong with you. Maybe you were just placed in a system. That takes more than it gives. Maybe the answer isn't try harder. Maybe it's build differently. Because effort alone burns you out. Systems free you. And once you stop blaming yourself, you finally have energy to change things. So maybe you were never lazy. Maybe you were never the problem. Maybe the system you were placed in was simply designed to exhaust you. Because think about it. If effort alone created freedom, the hardest workers on earth would all be wealthy. But they're not. And you've seen that yourself. The people working the longest hours are often the most stressed, while somewhere else, someone is earning more without moving as much. Not because they're luckier, not because they're smarter, but because they're playing a completely different game. Workers trade time. Builders create assets. Workers chase money. Builders design systems. One group stays busy forever. The other becomes free. Same world. Different thinking. And once you see the difference, you can never unsee it. So now that you know you're not lazy, let's talk about the real shift. The mindset that separates workers from builders. Chapter 6. Rich people think differently. How builders think versus workers. There's something most people never realize. The difference isn't effort. It's not intelligence. It's not luck. And it's definitely not talent. The real difference is thinking. Quiet. Invisible. But powerful. Two people can work the same hours. Sweat the same. Wake up at the same time. One stays broke forever. The other becomes free. Not because one worked harder, but because one thought differently. That's the part nobody teaches you. School doesn't teach it. Jobs don't teach it. Because most systems train workers, not builders. Workers follow instructions. Builders design systems. Workers ask, "What job should I get?" Builders ask, "What can I own?" And that one question changes everything. The worker mindset. Let's start with a normal way of thinking, the way most of us were raised. The worker mindset sounds like this: I need a better job. I need more hours. I need a higher salary. Everything is tied to effort. More work equals more money. So you negotiate time, not ownership. You trade days, not assets. Even when you get a raise, what really changed? You're still showing up daily, still required, still dependent. You just upgraded the cage. That's all. Bigger paycheck. Same dependence. It's like running faster on a treadmill. You're sweating more, but you're still in the same spot. And nobody tells you this, because everyone around you is doing the same thing. So it feels normal. But normal isn't freedom. The builder mindset. Now listen carefully, because this is where everything shifts. Builders don't ask, "How can I work more?" They ask, "How can this work without me?" Read that again. Slowly. Not, "How can I earn more?" but, "How can this earn without me?" That question alone separates two lives. A worker builds income. A builder builds systems. Workers get paid once. Builders get paid repeatedly. Workers sell time. Builders create assets. Assets are different. Very different. Assets don't sleep. They don't get tired. They don't call in sick. They keep producing, even when you're resting. That's leverage. And leverage changes the game. A simple example. Imagine two people, both talented, both hard-working. Person one works 10 hours a day, gets paid daily. Stops working, income stops. Person two spends 3 months creating something once. Maybe a course, a book, a YouTube channel, a digital product. After that, it keeps paying. Again, and again, and again. Same effort. Completely different outcome. One built labor. The other built leverage. Labor expires. Leverage compounds. That's how builders think. They sacrifice once, so they don't sacrifice forever. Why most people never switch? Here's the sad part. Most people never make this shift. Not because they can't, but because nobody shows them. When you grow up seeing only workers, you think that's the only path. You copy what you see, not what's possible. So you spend years perfecting effort. Instead of learning ownership, you become very good at working, but never learn how to build. That's like learning to run faster, but never learning how to drive. More effort. Same distance. The emotional truth. And here's something people rarely admit. Workers are often exhausted. Not because they're weak, but because the system demands constant output. Constant showing up. Constant proving. Constant trading. That's draining. Mentally, physically, emotionally, builders feel different. Not lazy, not careless, just calmer. Because their money isn't tied to every breath. When income isn't dependent on today, your nervous system relaxes. You think better, create better, live better. That's the hidden benefit. Freedom isn't just financial. It's psychological. The invisible question. From today, start asking one question. Every time you consider work, ask this. Am I building something? Or just staying busy? Busy feels productive. But busy doesn't create freedom. Builders aren't busy all day. They're strategic. They build once. Then let systems run. That's why it looks like they're doing less, but earning more. They're not lazy. They're leveraged. And leverage always beats effort. Always. The moment everything changes. The day you truly understand this. You can't go back. You can't look at jobs the same way. You can't look at time the same way. Because now you see the truth. Hard work alone will keep you tired. Ownership will set you free. And ownership starts small, very small. One asset, one system, one piece of leverage. That's all it takes to begin. Just one. So don't try to work harder. Try to think differently. Stop asking, how do I earn today? Start asking, what can I build that earns tomorrow, without me? That question will change your life. Quietly, permanently. Now that you understand the mindset, we need to clarify something important. Because most people confuse income with assets, and they are not the same thing. Not even close. In the next chapter, we break that illusion completely. Chapter 7: Income versus Assets. What actually pays you forever? Most people think they have income, but they don't. They think they're earning, but they're renting. And that misunderstanding quietly keeps them stuck for decades. Because if you can't tell the difference, you can't change the outcome. Income, assets. We use these words like they're the same, but they are completely different games. One keeps you working forever. The other sets you free. And the scary part, nobody explains this clearly. So people chase income their whole lives, without realizing they're building nothing permanent. The illusion. Let's slow this down. Keep it simple. You get paid every month. Salary enters your account. You feel safe, responsible, productive. You say, at least I have income. But pause for a second. Think carefully. If you stop showing up tomorrow, does that money still come? Or does it disappear immediately? If it disappears, it was never income. It was labor. Temporary exchange. You didn't build anything. You just rented time. And renting time is dangerous. Because time runs out. Every day you must earn again. From zero. Like resetting a game. Over and over. That's exhausting. Mentally. Physically. Emotionally. Because nothing carries forward. Nothing stacks. Yesterday's effort doesn't pay today. You must start fresh again. That's not income. That's survival. So what is real income? Real income is different. Very different. Real income continues. Even when you stop. Read that again. Slowly. It continues. Without you. That's the key. Without you. Because if it still needs you, it's just another job. Assets produce. Labor consumes. Assets pay you repeatedly. Labor pays you once. Assets stack. Labor resets. Assets create freedom. Labor creates dependence. Once you see this clearly, your entire strategy changes. A small story. Imagine two friends. Same age. Same energy. Both work hard. Both smart. First friend gets a job. Works 10 hours daily. Paid every month. Second friend spends evenings building something small. A YouTube channel. A digital guide. A simple online tool. At first, nothing happens. It feels slow. Quiet. The first friend looks successful. Immediate paycheck. The second looks behind. No fast money. But months pass. Something changes. The small thing starts paying. Just a little. Then more. Then more. And one day, it pays while they're asleep. While they're resting. While they're traveling. That's an asset. Now imagine adding another. Then another. Suddenly money comes from many places. Without constant effort. That's income. Real income. Not because they worked harder, but because they built something once. That's the difference. Builders create engines. Workers become engines. Why this changes everything. When you only have labor, you're always afraid. Afraid of losing the job. Afraid of sickness. Afraid of breaks. Because everything stops with you. But when you own assets, fear reduces. Because even if you rest, money still moves. That calm feeling. That's freedom starting. Not millions. Not luxury. Just breathing space. Choice. And choice is what freedom really means. The mistake most people make. Here's the trap. A subtle one. People increase income, but never build assets. Higher salary. Bigger expenses. Same dependence. Promotion. More stress. Same cage. They upgrade lifestyle, but not leverage. So nothing actually changes. Just bigger numbers. Still trading time. Still starting from zero every month. Still stuck. That's why some high earners feel trapped too. Because income without assets is still fragile. The mental shift. From today. Stop asking, how can I make more money? Start asking, what can I own that pays me repeatedly? Ownership is the secret. Always ownership. Own a product. Own content. Own systems. Own something. Even small. Especially small. Because small assets stack. Slowly. Quietly. Powerfully. One stream becomes two. Two becomes five. And suddenly, you're no longer dependent on one paycheck. That's when life changes. Not dramatically. Calmly. Confidently. Because now, money isn't chasing you. Your assets are working. All the time. So look at your life honestly. No judgment. Just clarity. Right now. Are you building income? Or are you building assets? Because one keeps you busy forever. The other sets you free forever. And you only need to start with one. Just one small thing that pays without you. That's how builders begin. Quietly. Not loudly rich. Just quietly free. Now that you understand assets, there's something even more powerful. Because earning is good. But owning is better. And ownership always beats effort. In the next chapter, we talk about why working 100 hours will never beat owning one small thing. Chapter 8: Ownership Beats Effort. Why owning one small thing beats working 100 hours. Hard work feels noble. It feels right. It feels responsible. Mature. Serious. That's why this truth is hard to accept. Because it sounds almost unfair. Effort, by itself, doesn't win. You can work harder than everyone you know, and still stay stuck. You can wake up earlier, sleep later, push your body, push your mind, and still not move forward. Meanwhile, someone working less than you makes more than you. Not because they're smarter, not because they're lucky, but because they own something. Ownership changes the game completely. The lie we were praised for. From childhood, we were praised for effort. Work hard. Try harder. Put in more hours. Nobody ever said, own something. Think about school. You were graded on how long you studied, how hard you tried, how much you obeyed. Not on leverage, not on systems, not on ownership. So naturally. That's how we enter adult life. We believe effort is the answer to everything. If money is low, work more. If tired, push more. If stuck, hustle more. 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 And nobody stops to ask the important question. What if effort isn't the real lever? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Effort has limits. Ownership doesn't. The ceiling of effort. Let's slow this down and make it painfully simple. You only have 24 hours. Not 30. Not 40. Just 24. Same as everyone else. So if money depends on hours, your income is automatically capped. There's a maximum you can earn. A ceiling you can't break. You can't work 50 hours in one day. Your body won't allow it. That means labor will always be limited. Always. No matter how strong you are. No matter how disciplined you are. You're still human. And humans get tired. Ownership doesn't get tired. Ownership doesn't sleep. Ownership doesn't take breaks. Ownership doesn't complain. Ownership just runs. Quietly. Consistently. Forever. 2 lives. Imagine 2 people again. Same intelligence. Same background. Same opportunities. First person chooses effort only. Works overtime. Takes extra shifts. Always busy. Their calendar is full, but their future isn't. Every month starts from zero. Every bill depends on the next paycheck. If they stop working, everything stops. Now the second person. They still work, but differently. They spend some time building something small, something they can own. Maybe a simple course, a YouTube channel, a digital template, a small app, an e-book. At first, nothing. It feels pointless, slow, quiet, no instant reward, no applause. Most people quit here because effort gives immediate money. Ownership gives delayed freedom, but they keep going. Patiently. Then one day, it pays once. Then again, without extra effort. Then it pays while they sleep, while they eat, while they rest. That's when everything changes. Because now time is no longer the boss. Ownership is. The emotional difference. There's something nobody talks about. It's not just money. It's the feeling. The feeling of not being trapped. When income only comes from effort, you feel pressure constantly. Even on weekends. Even on holidays. Even when sick. There's always this voice. If you stop, money stops. That's exhausting. Mentally exhausting. But when you own assets, something shifts inside you. You relax a little. You breathe easier. Because even if today is slow, money still moves. That quiet security is what freedom actually feels like. Not yachts. Not luxury cars. Just peace. The peace of knowing you're not racing against time anymore. Why most people never switch. So if ownership is better, why doesn't everyone do it? Simple. Because ownership feels slower at the beginning. Effort pays immediately. Ownership pays later. Humans love immediate rewards. We hate waiting. So we choose the fast money. Even if it keeps us stuck forever. It's like choosing daily wages. Instead of planting a tree, the tree takes time. But once it grows, it feeds you for years. Most people never plant. They just keep buying fruit every day. Forever dependent. The quiet power of small ownership. Here's the beautiful part. You don't need something big. You don't need millions. Or investors. Or a giant company. One small asset is enough to start. Just one. Something that pays $1 without you. That's proof. Because once you earn without effort, your brain changes. You stop thinking like a worker. You start thinking like a builder. And builders don't ask, how many hours can I work? They ask, what can I create once that pays forever? That single question changes your entire life direction. The reframe. From today. Measure success differently. Not by how busy you are, but by how much works without you. Busy is not freedom. Busy is dependency in disguise. Freedom is quiet, calm, stable, things running, while you rest. That's ownership. So ask yourself honestly tonight. No pressure, just truth. Are you only working? Or are you building something you own? Because 100 hours of effort will always lose to one small thing you control forever. Effort keeps you alive. Ownership sets you free. And the moment you understand that, you stop grinding and start building. Now that you see ownership clearly, there's something even more powerful. Because even assets can drain you if you're still doing everything manually. The next level isn't just ownership. It's systems. Systems that make money without your constant attention. Chapter 9. Systems make money, not hustle. Stop grinding. Start building machines. For most of your life, you were taught one rule. If you want more, work more. More hours. More effort. More pushing. Hustle harder. Sleep less. Try harder. That advice sounds strong. It sounds brave. But quietly, it's what keeps most people exhausted forever. Because hustle is just effort with a new name. It's still trading time. Still trading energy. Still trading life. The only difference is now you're proud of being tired. Think about that. We celebrate burnout. I only slept 3 hours. I worked all weekend. I'm always busy. And people clap. But nobody asks the obvious question. If you stop, does it all stop too? Because if it does, that's not freedom. That's just a faster treadmill. The treadmill problem. Hustle feels like progress. But it's motion, not movement. Like running on a treadmill. You sweat. You breathe hard. Your legs burn. But when you step off, you're still in the same place. That's what most people's money looks like. Constant effort. No real leverage. Every month resets to zero. Bills erase everything. So you run again. And again. And again. Years pass like this. Busy. Tired. Stuck. Not because you're lazy, but because you built nothing that runs without you. Workers versus builders. There are two types of people in the world. Workers and builders. Workers focus on tasks. Builders focus on systems. Workers ask, "What do I need to do today?" Builders ask, "What can I build once, so I don't have to keep doing this forever?" Same intelligence. Same 24 hours. Completely different results. Because tasks end. Systems continue. Tasks need you. Systems don't. Tasks pay once. Systems pay repeatedly. This is the shift most people never learn. And it changes everything. What is a system really? Don't overthink the word system. It's not complicated. A system is simply something that works without you. That's it. No magic. No fancy language. Just something that keeps running. Even when you're not there. A fan is a system. You switch it on, it keeps spinning. A vending machine is a system. You load it once, it sells all day. A YouTube video is a system. You record once, people watch forever. A digital product is a system. You create once, it sells automatically. Notice the pattern. Once, then repeat. Once, then repeat. That's leverage. Hustle says, "Do it again tomorrow." Systems say, Do it once properly, then let it run. The emotional difference. There's something nobody talks about enough. It's not just about money. It's about your mind. When everything depends on your effort, you feel pressure constantly. You can't rest fully. You can't switch off. Even on vacation, your brain whispers. If you stop too long, things will fall apart. That's not life. That's survival mode. But when systems exist, something changes inside you. You relax. Not lazy, just calm. Because even today, something is still working for you. Sales, views, downloads, interest, royalties, quiet income, money moving, without your body being present. That feeling is freedom. Why hustle culture is dangerous. Hustle culture sounds exciting, but it hides a trap. It tells you to sacrifice everything. Sleep, health, peace, relationships, all for success. But what kind of success needs you exhausted forever? That's not success. That's dependency dressed up as ambition. Real wealth is quiet, calm, boring even, because systems don't look dramatic. They just work. No noise, no stress, just consistency. And consistency beats intensity every time. A simple picture. Imagine two people again. First person hustles. Works 12 hours daily. Always tired. Makes money only when working. Stops working, income drops. Second person spends 4 hours building systems. Learning. Creating. Automating. At first, they earn less. Slow start. But months later, their systems stack. One pays. Then 2. Then 5. Then 10. Suddenly, their income no longer depends on today. It depends on what they built months ago. That's power. Because now time is their friend, not their enemy. The calm builder mindset. Builders move differently. Slower. Calmer. Smarter. They're not rushing. They're designing. They don't ask, "How can I work more?" They ask, "How can I make this work without me?" Every decision filters through that question. And over time, their life gets lighter. Less pressure. Less panic. More space to think. Because they're not manually carrying everything anymore. Their systems carry the weight. The shift you must make. From today. Stop measuring success by effort. Stop saying, "I worked all day," like it's an achievement. Instead ask, "What did I build today that will still pay me next year?" That's the only question that matters. Not busy. Not tired. Not stressed. Built. Because built things last. Effort disappears the moment it's done. Systems stay. You don't need more hustle. You need more leverage. You don't need longer hours. You need smarter design. Stop grinding. Start building machines. Quiet machines. Invisible workers. Systems that earn while you live. Because the goal was never to work forever. The goal was always freedom. Now that you understand systems, there's one last piece. A simple formula that ties everything together. Time, assets, leverage. When these three align, income becomes almost automatic. Chapter 10. The Freedom Formula. Time plus assets plus leverage. Most people think money is complicated. Stocks, business, investing, big words. So they assume wealth is hard, or only for smart people. But here's the truth. Money is not complicated. It's actually simple. Very simple. The problem isn't intelligence. The problem is direction. Most people are just running in the wrong direction, working harder, but building nothing, grinding longer, but owning nothing. So no matter how much effort they give, they stay in the same place. Like pushing a car, instead of fixing the engine. Exhausting and unnecessary, because there is a formula. A very calm one. Not exciting. Not flashy. But powerful. Quietly powerful. 3 pieces. That's it. Time, assets, and leverage. When these 3 work together, money starts working for you. Not because you hustle, but because the math changes. Part 1. Time. Let's start with something obvious, but dangerous. Time. Everyone has the same 24 hours. Rich, poor, young, old. Same clock. So if everyone has equal time, why are the results so different? Because most people sell their time, instead of protecting it. Think about your job for a second. What are you really paid for? Not your creativity. Not your ideas. Your hours. Be here from 9 to 5. Be available. Be present. That's not skill-based. That's time-based. And here's the problem. Time cannot multiply. You can't create more of it. You can't clone yourself. So if income depends only on time, income has a ceiling. No matter how hard you try, you will hit a limit. That's why promotions don't fix everything. That's why raises still feel tight. Because you're still trading time, just at a slightly higher price. Same cage. Nicer decoration. Freedom begins the moment you stop selling time directly. The moment you say, "My hours are too valuable to sell one by one." That's the first shift. Part 2. Assets. If you don't sell time, what do you sell instead? Assets. This word scares people. Sounds big. Sounds rich. Sounds complicated. But relax. It's simple. An asset is just something that pays you without you being there. That's it. Nothing fancy. A house you rent out. Asset. A YouTube video that earns ads. Asset. A book that sells daily. Asset. A course people buy automatically. Asset. A website. An app. Music. Software. All assets. Notice something. You build once. It pays many times. That's the difference. Workers get paid once per effort. Builders get paid repeatedly per asset. 1 sale. 2 sales. 1,000 sales. Same work. That's unfair in the best possible way, because effort stays the same. Income grows. Assets break the time rule. They disconnect money from hours. That's when things start feeling lighter, because you're no longer running every day just to survive. Part 3. Leverage. Now comes the magic piece. Leverage. This is the secret most people miss. Because leverage multiplies everything. Think of leverage like a lever. Small force. Big result. One push. Massive movement. That's leverage. In money, leverage means your effort reaches many people at once. Not one-to-one, but one-to-many. A job is one-to-one. 1 hour, one paycheck. A YouTube video is one-to-many. One video, thousands of views. A digital product is one-to-many. One file, unlimited buyers. See the difference. Scale. Leverage lets one action create hundreds of results. That's how builders grow faster while working less. Not because they're lucky. Because their effort multiplies. Putting it together. Now breathe for a second. And look at the full picture. Time. Assets. Leverage. That's the formula. Protect your time. Build assets. Use leverage to scale them. That's it. Not hustle. Not burnout. Not exhaustion. Just design. Calm design. When you understand this, everything changes. You stop asking, how can I work more? And start asking, what can I build that pays repeatedly? That one question separates workers from free people. A quiet future. Imagine waking up. No rush. You check your phone. And income already came in. Overnight. While you slept. Not because you worked harder yesterday, but because something you built months ago is still running. That's not fantasy. That's systems. That's assets. That's leverage. And when those three stack, you stop chasing money. Money starts chasing you. Quietly. Automatically. Daily. You don't need to be smarter. You don't need to be lucky. You just need to stop playing the time game and start playing the asset game. Because the freedom you want isn't found in working harder. It's found in building smarter. Time. Assets. Leverage. That's the formula. Memorize it. Live it. Now that you understand the formula, you're probably wondering something simple. Okay, but what exactly can I build? What assets actually pay forever? In the next chapter, we get practical. Real examples. Real paths. Digital assets that earn, even when you disappear for months. Chapter 11. Digital assets that pay forever. Build once. Earn repeatedly. For most of your life, money has required your presence. You show up. You get paid. You stop showing up. Money stops too. That's all you've ever known. So it feels normal. But here's something strange. Very strange. Some people get paid, even when they're not there. Not working. Not online. Not available. Still earning. While they sleep. While they travel. While they rest. And no, it's not magic. It's not luck. It's not being born rich. It's something much simpler. They built assets. Digital assets. Things that work without them. This is where the game changes. Completely. The difference nobody explains. A job pays you once. For one effort. 1 day of work. 1 day of pay. Tomorrow, you start again. But an asset doesn't work like that. An asset pays you repeatedly. You create it once. It keeps paying. Again. And again. And again. Same work. Multiple rewards. That's leverage. That's freedom starting. And digital assets are the easiest assets in history to build. Because you don't need land. Factories. Huge money. Just skills. Or knowledge. Or effort. And an internet connection. That's it. Why digital is powerful. Think about this carefully. Physical things are limited. A shop can only serve so many people. A restaurant has limited seats. But digital. Unlimited. One video can reach millions. One file can be downloaded forever. One product can sell while you sleep. Without extra work. No inventory. No location. Just systems. Quiet systems. That's why this chapter matters. Because once you understand digital assets, you stop thinking like a worker and start thinking like a builder. Content. Let's start simple. Content. Videos. Audio. Articles. Posts. Things that teach. Help. Explain. Inspire. Most people think content is just posting. But it's more than that. Content is property. Digital property. A YouTube video you upload today can still pay you 5 years from now. You do the work once. It keeps working. Views come. Ads run. Money flows. Even when you're offline. Same with podcasts. Same with blogs. Same with audiobooks. Build once. Earn forever. And here's the beautiful part. The internet never closes. Your content works 24 hours a day. Not 8. That's 3 shifts. Every day. Without you, you're basically hiring the internet to work for you. Digital products. Next level. Products. Not physical products. Digital ones. Ebooks. Courses. Templates. Guides. Apps. Tools. Things people download. Imagine writing a small guide once. Maybe something you already know well. Someone buys it today. You earn. Someone buys tomorrow. You earn again. Same file. Same work. You didn't work twice. But you got paid twice. That's different from a job. Very different. In a job, you must repeat the effort to repeat the money. With products, you repeat the money without repeating the effort. That's leverage. Knowledge. Here's something most people overlook. You already know things. Skills. Experience. Lessons. Things someone else is struggling with right now. To you, it feels normal. But to someone else, it's valuable. Maybe you know how to design, cook, edit videos, fix phones, study better, speak clearly. That knowledge can become a product. Package it once. Sell forever. You're not trading hours. You're selling solutions. And solutions scale. Hours don't. The quiet shift. Notice what's happening here. Slowly. You're moving from, how do I earn today? To, what can I build that keeps earning? That question changes your entire life. Because now you're thinking long-term. Builders think in years. Workers think in weeks. Workers chase the next paycheck. Builders plant trees. Trees that keep producing fruit. Season after season. Twos, and once you plant enough. Three's life becomes lighter. Not because you stopped working, but because your past work keeps paying you. That's the dream most people have. Without realizing it has a name. It's not passive income. It's assets. Systems. Quiet machines. Working while you live. A calmer future. Picture this. Not fantasy. Just realistic. You wake up slowly. No rush. You check your phone. Sales happened overnight. Views increased. Money came in. You didn't do anything. Because yesterday's work is still alive. That feeling is freedom starting. Not millions. Not luxury. Just space. Breathing room. And breathing room changes everything. Digital assets are not complicated. They're just creations that don't need you daily. Content. Products. Knowledge. Build once. Earn repeatedly. You don't need 10. Start with 1. One asset can change your life. 2 can stabilize it. 5. You start feeling free. Not rich. Free. And freedom is the real goal. Always. Now you might be thinking, but what if I don't know what to create? What if I don't have special skills? Good question. Because the truth is, you already have more value than you think. In the next chapter, we take what you already know and turn it into products people gladly pay for. No fancy degrees. No genius required. Just packaging what you already have. Chapter 12. Turning skills into products. Packaging what you already know. Most people think income comes from talent. Something special. Something rare. Something they don't have. They look at others and say, he's smarter. She's more gifted. They know more than me. And quietly, they disqualify themselves before they even start. But here's the truth. A quiet one. The people earning online are not geniuses. They're not special. They're not magical. They simply did one thing differently. They packaged what they already knew. That's it. Nothing fancy. Not talent. Not luck. Not connections. Packaging. They stopped asking, what big thing should I create? And started asking, what do I already know that someone else doesn't? That question changes everything. The invisible knowledge you ignore. Let me tell you something strange. The things you think are basic are valuable to someone else. The things that feel normal to you are confusing to someone else. Because knowledge is relative. Always. If you're at level 5, you can teach level 1. You don't need level 10. You just need to be a few steps ahead. Think about school for a second. A teacher doesn't need to know everything. They just need to know more than the student. That's enough. And life works the same way. Always has. Maybe you know how to cook simple meals. Someone else doesn't. Maybe you know how to edit videos. Someone else is struggling. Maybe you understand budgeting, studying, fixing things, organizing, speaking clearly, writing better. These feel small to you. But to someone else, they're problems. And problems are valuable. Because people pay to solve problems. Not for genius. For clarity. Why you don't see your own value. There's a reason you underestimate yourself. A simple one. You live with your skills every day. So they feel normal. Like breathing. You don't notice it. But imagine someone who can't breathe well. Suddenly breathing is everything. That's how knowledge works. The person who struggles values it more. You forget how long it took you to learn something. Because now it feels easy. But easy for you doesn't mean easy for everyone. And that's where opportunity lives. The shift from worker to builder. Workers think like this. I need hours to make money. Builders think differently. They ask, how can I turn what I know into something that sells without me? Notice the difference. One trades time. The other builds once. One repeats effort daily. The other repeats income automatically. Same person. Different thinking. And this chapter is about learning that thinking. What is a product, really? Don't overcomplicate this word. Product sounds big. But it's just this. Something useful, packaged neatly. That's all. A checklist is a product. A guide is a product. A template. A script. A tutorial. A mini course. An e-book. A simple system. All products. Not huge. Not complex. Just helpful. Help scales. You create it once. Thousands can use it. You don't repeat yourself. The product speaks for you. That's leverage again. A simple example. Imagine this. You figured out how to study faster. Nothing special. Just something you learned over time. You write a small 20-page guide. Simple language. Clear steps. You upload it online. Price it cheap. 10 people buy today. You earn. 10 more tomorrow. You earn again. You didn't rewrite it. You didn't show up again. Same effort. Repeated income. That's the whole idea. Not complicated. Just consistent. Start small. Always. Most people fail here because they think too big. They try to build something perfect. Perfect kills momentum. Every time. Don't build a giant course. Build a small guide. Don't build an app. Build a checklist. Don't create a huge system. Create one solution. Small wins teach you faster. And speed builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum. Momentum builds freedom. The quiet compounding. Here's something powerful. Very powerful. 1 product helps a little. 2 help more. 5. Now money flows from multiple directions. 10. You stop worrying about 1 bad month. Because everything stacks. Quietly. That's compounding again. Not just money. Systems. Your past efforts keep working, while you build new ones. That's how people look lucky. They're not lucky. They just started earlier and kept stacking. The deeper truth. This chapter isn't really about money. It's about dignity. Because there's something powerful about earning from your mind, from your knowledge. Not just your body. Not just your hours. It feels different. Lighter. Like you're finally being paid for who you are. Not just where you show up. That's self-trust growing. That's ownership forming. And ownership is freedom's best friend. So stop waiting to become an expert. You already know enough to help someone. Start there. Start small. Package 1 thing. Solve 1 problem. Put it out. Let it work. Then build another. And another. One day you'll wake up and realize something quiet happened. Money is coming in. Even when you're not working. Not because you hustled harder, but because you built smarter. Now that you understand how to turn skills into products, there's another powerful tool most people overlook. Attention. People's eyes. Their time. Because attention can also become income. And once you learn how content earns while you sleep, everything multiplies. That's next. Chapter 13. Content that earns while you sleep. How attention becomes income. There's something strange about the world we live in now. Something most people still haven't fully noticed. Money doesn't only follow labor anymore. It follows attention. Not strength. Not hours. Not location. Attention. Wherever people look, money flows. Think about that slowly. Every business on earth is fighting for one thing. Not time. Not effort. Your eyes. Your focus. Because attention is currency. And most people are spending it every day. Without realizing they could also earn from it. You wake up. You open your phone. You scroll. Watch. Listen. Hours pass. And every piece of content you consume is making someone money. Someone you've never met. Someone sitting quietly somewhere. They made that video once. And today, while they're sleeping, you're still watching it, and they're still earning. That's different. Very different from a job. The old world versus the new world. In the old world, income was local. You had to be present. Physically there. Store open. Office open. Shop open. No presence. No money. But now, one person can reach millions. From one room. With one phone. One idea. You record something once. And the world can see it forever. Forever. That word matters. Because forever changes the game. A video today can still earn 3 years from now. An ebook today can still sell 10 years later. A podcast today can still be heard long after you forget you recorded it. That's not labor anymore. That's leverage. The mistake most people make. Here's where people get it wrong. They think content is about fame. Big followers. Big numbers. Big popularity. No. Content is not about being famous. It's about being useful. You don't need 1 million views. You need the right people. 10,000 people who trust you is more powerful than 1 million who don't care. Think small first. Always small first. Solve one problem. For one group. Speak clearly, simply, and slowly. Attention gathers. Not loud. Quiet. Steady. That's how real income is built. What is content really? Let's remove the hype word. Content sounds complicated, but it's just this. Helping someone understand something. That's it. Teaching. Explaining. Sharing. Showing. Humans have done this forever. The only difference now is the internet remembers. Before, you taught one person. Now you teach thousands at once. Before, your voice disappeared. Now it stays online forever. That's the upgrade. A simple example. Imagine you solve a problem. Something small. Maybe you figured out how to save money, or edit videos, or cook better meals, or pass exams. You explain it. Record it. Post it. That's all. One video. 10 minutes. Today 10 people watch. Tomorrow 20. Next month 100. Next year thousands. And every single time someone watches, you earn something. Money. Trust. Attention. Opportunity. All from one effort. That's the part workers don't understand at first. Effort doesn't have to repeat daily. One effort can multiply. Why this is powerful for ordinary people. Here's the beautiful part. You don't need permission. No boss. No company. No gatekeeper. Just you. A phone. Internet. An idea. That's enough. Not perfect lighting. Not expensive gear. Clarity beats polish. Help beats perfection. Most people wait until they look professional and never start. But the people earning quietly, they started messy, simple, imperfect, human, and consistent. Consistency is what compounds, not talent. The quiet compounding of attention. Think of content like seeds. Each one planted once. One video. One article. One guide. Small. But after a year, you have a garden. After 3 years, a forest. And every piece keeps working, even when you rest. That's why people who start early win. Not because they're smarter. They simply planted sooner. The emotional shift. There's something calming about this model. Something different from hustle. You're not chasing money. You're building value. Not stress. Not exhaustion. Just quiet creation. Day by day. You make something helpful. Put it out. Walk away. And it keeps working. Like an employee you don't have to manage. That's freedom slowly forming. You don't need to be an influencer. Let's clear this fear too. You don't have to dance. perform, entertain. You can be calm, quiet, serious, reflective. There are people exactly like you, waiting for your voice. Not loud, just real. You don't need everyone. You need your people. A small loyal audience beats a giant distracted crowd. Every time. The long-term game. Here's the mindset shift. Stop thinking daily money. Think lifetime income. Stop asking, how much today? Start asking, will this still pay me 3 years from now? That question changes what you build. Because content is not a post. It's an asset. Something that keeps returning value. Right now. Somewhere. Someone is sleeping. And their content is working. Their videos are playing. Their books are selling. Their courses are teaching. Money moving quietly. Not because they're lucky, but because they built once. And that option exists for you too. Starting small. Starting today. Not chasing attention. Creating value. Helping people. And letting the system work. Now imagine something even more powerful. Not just content, but systems that run automatically. Even when you're offline completely. Not just assets, but machines. Invisible employees. Working for you 24 hours a day. That's next. Chapter 14. Automation, your invisible employee. Systems that run without you. There's a moment most people never experience. And when it happens, it feels almost unreal. You wake up, still half asleep. You reach for your phone, not rushing, not stressed, just curious. You open your notifications. And you see it. Money came in. Not because you worked. Not because you showed up. You were sleeping. But something you built worked anyway. Quietly. Automatically. That feeling is different. Not excitement. Not hype. Something calmer. Deeper. Relief. The kind of relief you feel when you realize you don't have to run anymore. That's automation. The word people overcomplicate. Automation sounds technical. Complicated. Like coding. Like robots. Like machines. But it's simpler than that. Automation just means this. Work happening without you being there. That's it. Nothing fancy. A light switch is automation. You press once. The light stays on. A washing machine is automation. You start it. It finishes alone. You don't stand there scrubbing clothes. The machine works for you. Now imagine doing that with income. Press once. Get paid repeatedly. That's the same idea. Just applied to money. Workers versus builders. Workers sell effort. Builders design systems. Workers repeat tasks. Systems repeat tasks. Workers get tired. Systems don't. Workers sleep. Systems keep running. Workers get sick. Systems don't complain. Which one sounds more stable? Exactly. Yet most people still choose to be the worker. Because nobody teaches them how to build systems. So they believe work must always equal exhaustion. But it doesn't. The hidden trap of doing everything yourself. There's something most beginners do. Something that quietly burns them out. They try to do everything manually. Reply to every message. Send every file. Handle every task. One by one. Every day. That's just another job. You left one job and built another one for yourself. That's not freedom. That's self-employment prison. Automation is what separates freedom from endless busy work. Think like an architect, not a worker. Here's the shift. Stop asking, how can I do this faster? Start asking, how can this run without me? Notice the difference. Faster still needs you. Automatic doesn't. Builders design once, then step back. Workers stay involved forever. Builders remove themselves. Your goal isn't to work better. It's to disappear from the process. That's real leverage. Simple real-life examples. Let's make this normal. Not complicated. You create an ebook. Upload it once. A system delivers it automatically. Payment happens automatically. You're not there. It still sells. You record a course. Upload once. People enroll. Watch. Learn. Pay. You're not teaching live. The system teaches for you. You post content. Ads run automatically. Views turn into revenue. Even while you're offline. See the pattern. One effort. Repeated results. That's automation. Your first invisible employee. Think of every system like an employee. But better. Because this employee never sleeps. Never gets tired. Never asks for salary. Never complains. It just works. Every day. Every night. Quietly doing the same task. Perfectly. That's powerful. And the more systems you build, the more employees you have. Without payroll. Without stress. Without management. Just results. Why this feels scary at first. Most people resist automation. Not because it's hard, but because it feels unfamiliar. We were trained to believe effort equals value. If you're not sweating, you're not earning. That's old thinking. Industrial age thinking. Today, design beats effort. Systems beat hustle. Strategy beats exhaustion. The world changed. Most minds didn't. That's why some people look lucky. They're not lucky. They just adapted. The calm life automation creates. Imagine something for a second. Imagine waking up. Without urgency. No rush. No panic. Because money isn't tied to today's effort. Your systems already ran all night. Income already moved. That changes how you think. How you walk. How you live. You're calmer. You choose work instead of needing it. That difference is everything. Start small, always. Don't try to automate everything. That's overwhelming. Start with one thing. One small process. Maybe automatic delivery. Maybe scheduled content. Maybe pre-recorded teaching. One system. Then another. Then another. Slowly. Like stacking bricks. Until one day, You look back and realize you built a machine. Quietly. Without drama. That's how real freedom looks. Right now. Somewhere in the world. Someone is sleeping peacefully, while their systems are working. Sales happening. Downloads happening. Views happening. Income flowing. Not because they're special, but because they stopped doing everything manually and started designing. That option exists for you too. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Starting now. Build once. Let it run. Step back. Repeat. Now imagine stacking all of this together. Not one system. Not two, but multiple streams. All working at once. Different sources. Same freedom. That's the final step. Designing your forever machine. Chapter 15. Stacking multiple income streams. Designing your forever machine. There's a moment most people don't talk about. Not the moment you start learning. Not the moment you try something new. Not the moment you open your first account. It's later than that. Quieter than that. It's the moment you finally understand something simple. And everything changes. The moment you realize one income source was never the goal. Because one source is just another job wearing a different name. One stream still means fear. Still means dependency. Still means what if this stops? And anything that can stop your life controls your life. The mistake most beginners make. When people first learn about passive income, they chase one thing. One big idea. One miracle system. One perfect business. One day this will save me. But here's the truth nobody says clearly. Freedom is never built on one thing. Never. Not one job. Not one client. Not one channel. Not one investment. Because one is fragile. One can break. And fragile money creates fragile peace. Real freedom feels different. It feels steady, calm, unshakable. And steadiness only comes from this, many small streams flowing at the same time. Think of it like this. Imagine standing under one thin pipe of water. If it stops, you're dry. Now imagine 10 pipes. Even if 2 stop, you still flow. That's stacking. That's stability. Not more stress. Less fear. The old life versus the new life. Let's slow this down. Picture your old life. One alarm. One job. One paycheck. One source keeping everything alive. Every bill connected to that single thread. If the thread snaps, everything falls. That's pressure. Constant, invisible pressure. Now picture the new life. Not dramatic. Not rich overnight. Not flashy. Just different. Calmer. Money coming from small places. Quiet places. A video you made months ago, still paying you. A course you built once, still selling. A small investment, still growing. A digital product, still downloading. Nothing huge, but together. Strong. Very strong. Because now, you don't wake up afraid. You wake up knowing, money is already moving. Without you. That feeling? That's freedom. Why stacking changes your psychology? Most people think stacking is financial. It's not. It's psychological first. Because when your income doesn't depend on today, you stop panicking about today. You think slower, smarter. You stop saying yes to everything. You stop begging for opportunities. You choose. And choice is what freedom actually feels like. The builder's mindset workers ask, how much can I earn this month? Builders ask, what can I build once that pays forever? Workers trade time. Builders create assets. Workers repeat effort. Builders stack results. And slowly, their life separates. Not louder, just lighter. The forever machine. This is where everything connects. All the chapters before this. Digital assets, skills, content, automation. They weren't random ideas. They're parts, pieces of one thing. A machine. A system that earns, even when you don't. Think like an engineer now, not a worker. Every asset you build is a gear. One gear alone, weak. But 10 gears connected, powerful. That's your forever machine. Not hustle, not luck, design. Step by step, simple and calm. Don't rush this. Stacking is not speed. It's consistency. Step 1. Build one small asset. Maybe one YouTube video. Maybe one ebook. Maybe one template. Step 2. Let it run. Learn. Improve. Step 3. Add another. Not 10 at once. Just one more. Over months, over years, you look back and realize something crazy. You didn't chase money. You built a system. And now, money chases you. The quiet moment. One day, you'll check your phone. Not stressed. Not desperate. Just curious. And you'll see, sales came in overnight. While you slept. While you rested. While you lived. Money moved. And that's when it hits you. Softly. I'm not trapped anymore. I don't have to work today if I don't want to. Not because you're rich. Because you're designed. This is the difference. Rich is a number. Freedom is a structure. Numbers can disappear. Structures last. So don't chase big money. Build strong systems. Because strong systems create endless money anyway. Final reflection. Look at who you were before this audiobook. Tired. Dependent. Running. Now look at who you are becoming. Calm. Intentional. Building. Not chasing paychecks. Designing assets. Not asking for permission. Owning pieces of your life. That's the shift. And once you feel it, you never go back. You don't need millions. You need systems. You don't need hustle. You need leverage. You don't need to work forever. You need income that works forever. So from today, stop chasing money. Build things that chase it for you. Stack slowly. Stack calmly. Stack forever. Because the goal was never to work harder. It was always this. Create income once. Get paid forever. Build once. Breathe forever. Take a breath for a second. Don't skip this part. Just breathe, slowly, because if you've listened this far, you're not the same person who pressed play. At the beginning, money probably felt heavy, stressful, urgent, like something you had to chase. Every single day, wake up, work, survive, repeat, over and over. And maybe you thought, this is just life. This is how it has to be. No choice. But now you know something most people never learn. Something quiet. Something powerful. Income doesn't have to come from effort. It can come from design. You don't have to run forever. You can build once, and let it run for you. That idea alone changes everything. Notice something. Nobody promised you overnight success here. Nobody said get rich fast. Nobody sold you fantasy. Because this isn't about hype. It's about peace. Real peace. The kind you feel in your chest. The kind that says, if I rest tomorrow, I'll still be okay. If I take a break, life doesn't collapse. If something happens, I'm protected. That's what we've been building this whole time. Not money. Stability. Control. Choice. The ability to say no. The ability to slow down. The ability to live without fear sitting quietly in the background. A simple truth. Most people will hear this audiobook, nod their head, and then tomorrow, go back to the same life, same routine, same dependence, same paycheck trap. Not because they're lazy, but because change feels uncomfortable. Building feels slow, and slow doesn't look exciting. But listen carefully. Slow is exactly why it works. Because slow things last. Fast things break. Trees grow slow, but they stand for decades. Systems grow slow, but they pay for years. So don't rush this. Don't pressure yourself. You don't need 10 streams tomorrow. You need one small step today. One video. One skill. One product. One asset. Just one. Then another. Then another. Quiet stacking. Calm building. Until one day you look back and realize money started moving before you even woke up. Imagine that day. Imagine waking up. No alarm. No rush. No panic. You check your phone. Not because you're worried. Just curious. And you see it. Sales. Growth. Income. While you slept. Nothing dramatic. Just steady. Reliable. Calm. And you smile. Not because you're rich, but because you're free. Free from needing permission to live. Final reminder. So from today, don't chase money. Don't exhaust yourself trying to earn faster. Don't trade your whole life for a paycheck. Build. Own. Design. Create things once that keep working forever. Let systems carry what your body used to carry. Let assets do what effort used to do. And most importantly, be patient with yourself. Because this isn't a race. It's construction. Brick by brick. Piece by piece. Until one day, your life feels lighter. Not because you escaped work, but because work no longer controls you. If you ever forget, come back to this. Listen again. Slow down again. Remember the goal. Not more hustle. More freedom. Create income once. Get paid forever. And finally, breathe. If this message spoke to you, share it. Subscribe. Keep listening. This is Beyond the Noise Studio.